Hey there, it's Iceberg again, and today I'm reviewing the newest IEMs from the Titan family, and this is the Dunu Titan X, which Dunu proudly calls a market slayer in the budget segment, and this is a pretty bold claim. Anyway, these are 10mm single D IEMs for about $35, with the metal shells, a wide range of ear tips, and a meta tuning to suit modern tastes. Well, let's get into it, starting with the box. So the Titan X comes in a tiny box with a model name on the front, and on the back we can see the key specs with 16 impedance and 104 sensitivity, so basically you don't need the dock to drive it. Well, inside the box we get the Titan X shells, of course, then a 2-pin cable with a 3.5mm jack in my case, which is super light and flexible, so it doesn't get tangled, has no microphonics, and works great with these. By the way, the Titan X is also available with a Type-C cable and a built-in mic on it. Next we have 3 sets of Dunu ear tips. The first set is black with a red bore, the second set is a colorful Dunu candy tips, and the third set is a grey Dunu balance tips. Then we also have a cleaning brush, followed by a nice well-ordered Dunu pouch. And guys, all of this comes for only $35. No kidding, this is insane for that price. Well, getting back to the shells, these are heavy single-piece metal casing in gunmetal color with a simple X in the faceplates, and it's kinda unusual to see metal shells in the ultra-budget segment. Inside we can see a metal nozzle that is quite tall and about 6mm wide, so if you have narrow ear canals, keep that in mind. By the way, we also have here 2 vents for dual chamber ventilation, and on the sides there is a 2-pin socket with raised edges for secure connection. Shape-wise, the Titan X shells are smaller than usual, slim but heavy, about 13 grams, and completely smooth with no odd angles. In my small ears, they fit perfectly without sticking out, causing pressure, or feeling heavy at all. I would say this is pretty versatile shape that will suit most people regardless of ear size, but be careful if you have narrow ear canal, because you may feel some pressure in that case. And as for isolation, it's more than sufficient, so it cuts noise very well in both quiet and nicer environment. Okay, when it comes to the sound, Dunu aim to make the Titan X maximally attractive to everyone, and damn it, they nail it. These are easy to listen to, with a relaxed sound that doesn't require any getting used to, burn in, or changing ear tips to find the perfect sound. And another big plus is they are forgiving of poor recordings, smoothing out of the flaws, not because they are super smooth, but simply because they catch fewer details, which I would say is normal for single DD driver. In terms of the overall sound signature, I would say it's not aggressive, but rather fun and enjoyable V-shaped tuning, with emphasis on a deep sub-bass, upper mids for vocal presence, and a smooth treble with the early roll-off. But everything here is delivered without harsh peaks or dips, which makes it easy to listen to any genres at any volume. And if I had to compare their sound, I would say they offer half of what the SD-Card Odyssey 2 delivers in terms of meta tuning, or the SIMCAT EM6L in terms of overall character. And yeah, these are one of my favorite daily IEMs right now. But low, Titan X is a $35 IEMs, and we gotta be ready for some compromises. Moving to the bass, it leans toward the sub-bass range, but it doesn't mean the mid-bass is forgotten here. I mean, no, that's not the case. For me, as a bass head, the bass amount in the Titan X was sufficient. Of course, it doesn't overwhelm, but it also doesn't feel flat or boring. At above average volume, it delivers that kind of physical sensations that truly surprising for the $35. The sub-bass here is boosted compared to the classic Harman, which is deep enough to provide vibration at atmosphere with a long decay and smooth fade, without muddy tail, which is particularly noticeable in the solo drum hits. The mid-bass here is denser and more textured, but not in terms of fluffiness or viscosity like in more expensive models, but in terms of fullness and meatiness. In terms of quantity, it's not the kind of bass that pushes you back with the pressure or booms, and it's not exactly punchy, but the mid bass excels at controls and richness, which in intense tracks sometimes extends in the lower mids. This bass performs well with the hip-hop, rock and electronic music, but may be insufficient for metal, hard rock or dubstep, where bass is the main focus. And of course, if you're a bass head, the Titan X is probably not your bass choice. But if you appreciate clean, controlled bass with good texture, you'll be completely satisfied. The midrange on the Titan X is warmer, more musical and natural here, but it has a V-shaped nature, so vocals, especially male, aren't pushed forward, but sit inside the track. The lower midrange here is slightly warmed up by the bass, so male vocals, even though inside the track, but sound thick, natural and grounded, which is especially pleasant on the bass or baritone vocals, while the instruments here have a slight thickness, but sound quite natural. However, listen, the upper midrange here has much more energy than the lower midrange, especially around 3k Hz, which might be a bit harsh for some, but not for me. This boost gives vocals more presence and articulation, which, for the most part, benefits female vocals by making them sound closer, brighter and more lively, adding life and expression, while everything sounds dramatic and captivating. But don't think it sounds harsh or sibilant, it's just an emphasize that makes the vocals more lively and less boring. Overall, I would say it's a sweet spot for vocal enjoyment, where they aren't pushed too far forward, but organically integrated in the overall beat. And the treble here is lively and sparkling, but it leans toward the calm side, so for most people it will sound safe and not aggressive. It's not the brightest or most detailed treble, but it's exactly what you need for fun, energetic sound that doesn't cause fatigue. At around 8k Hz, there is a noticeable boost which adds sparkle, brilliance and presence to the cymbals, hi-hats and the high harmonics of the voice. This boost makes the sound energetic and open, especially after the bass and mids. However, at the same time, there is a slight lack of air and sparkle at the very top, which makes the upper treble feel closer, lacking that sense of openness and airiness. And this compromise makes the treble sparkly enough to feel the brilliance, yet safe enough for those sensitive to treble. The soundstage on the Titan X has decent width, but the height and depth are more modest, which is quite typically for the single dynamic driver. I mean, if this had a bit more bass, then the soundstage might feel more spacious, but unfortunately it doesn't. It feels like a small room where the vocals are positioned in the center and slightly further back, while the instruments and reverb surround them. This creates a focused and immersive atmosphere, which, by the way, works well with the games. Okay guys, in conclusion, Dunu claimed they are making a market slayer, and you know, they almost weren't lying. Almost. Listen to me. The Titan X is an IEM that Dunu aimed to make appealing to everyone, and it's safe to say they done an excellent job. It's an IEM you just wanna put on, press play and just enjoy, without any burn-in, changing ear tips or getting used to the sound. You just put them in and they're ready to play. Simply good, warm, immersive, and that's a rarity even among IEMs, twice the price. Sound-wise, I will repeat it again. This is the relaxed, fun V-shaped sound signature, with emphasis on a deep bass, lovely upper mids, and a smooth, sparkling, yet safe treble. And now I wanna make some comparisons. If the ZCAD Odyssey 2 and SIMCAD EM6L are the gold standard of the tuning, then the Titan X is half of that standard, but just for the $35. However, for that price, you have to be ready for some compromises, and I wouldn't be honest if I don't talk about that. These are not bass heads, the resolution is not top tier, and there is no micro detail, and in terms of technicality, they're a bit on the modest side, and by the way, they are heavy, so keep that in mind. But lol, just imagine what better you could get for this money, I don't really know. In the end, I'll give this a 9.5 out of 10, and considering the price, this is unconditional recommendation if you're new to IEM world and want a quality experience right away, or if you're a music lover who listen to hip-hop, electronic, pop, rock, jazz, whatever, without any limits of genres. Titan X has shaken up the market and then said a lot. Once again, many thanks to the Hi-Fi Go for providing this sample, and to you guys for watching until the end. You're awesome, and I mean it. If you found this review helpful, hit the like button and subscribe, it really helps this channel. Take care, this was Iceberg, I'll catch you guys later, bye.